One of the biggest fraud bills at the state capitol is one step closer to reality. Today, the Minnesota House approved a measure that would create a statewide office of inspector general. Danny Spiewak was there for the vote and joins us live from the Capitol. Danny?
Well, Julie, this was an emphatic vote in the Minnesota House today. 127-5 was the final tally. That means that the statewide OIG bill is one step closer to reality and could be set up as soon as next year if it gets final approval here in 2026. But especially in the tied House, this was not an easy path to get to today. After sailing through the Senate last spring, the bill to create a statewide office of inspector general faced a more difficult path in the tied House this session.
It took 4 times to get this thing out of committee.
The bill took weeks to move to the floor, requiring careful negotiations between DFL sponsor Representative Matt Norris and his Republican counterparts, largely due to a hang-up over the office's law enforcement responsibilities.
The vast, unprecedented power of this office is the very reason why it was important for us to move in a thoughtful, diligent manner.
Under a compromise, the House came to a deal that allows the OIG to set up its own law enforcement division like Republicans wanted, but with delayed implementation to allow the BCA to run the fraud investigations for the first year like House Democrats and the Walz administration wanted.
Let's get this done. Minnesota needs an inspector general office, and we are on the verge of creating that.
The bill approved by the House allows the governor to appoint an inspector general to a 5-year term, with 3/5 confirmation required by the Senate.
This isn't the end-all be-all solution, but it is the most significant anti-fraud piece of legislation to pass in our generation.
DFL Senator Heather Gustafson and Republican Senator Michael Cruen led a joint effort in the Senate to pass the OIG bill last year. They say they're on board with the compromise the House negotiated.
It shows that this institution can still function when we set our minds to something important and are willing to work across the aisle.
The Senate is now expected to pass this legislation again in a matter of days, and then it'll go to the governor's desk pretty soon. Governor Walz has said he'll sign an OIG bill. He said that as recently as a couple of weeks ago. He hasn't commented publicly on the compromise deal that the House came up with, but would be a fair bet that he would probably support it. Back to you.
All right, let's hope it makes a difference if it passes into law. Thank you, Danny.